Welcome to Advent of Tessellations 2023. I'm Madonna Yoder, and I hope you will join hundreds of origami folders around the world in folding this daily challenge to increase your origami tessellation folding skills, so the twists and repeating patterns folded all from a single sheet of paper. Welcome back to Advent of Tess. I'm Madonna, and this is day 2 where we're going to be folding what I call a Japanese weave. This is a pattern that has been around for a long time. I'm not sure who designed the original version, but we're going to be working on this snippet, and I'll explain how you can create some variations and start playing and having fun with these tessellation patterns in a broader scale. So the first thing we're going to do is flip our paper over. So I have the valley side of the grid. This one again will be folded all from the same side, and I consider the other side to be the front. And we're going to be folding mountains in from 3 of the corners of the paper. And these are 3 evenly spaced corners. And we're going to be putting a closed triangle twist there, specifically a right-handed closed triangle twist. So if I'm holding the paper in my right hand, the pleat in my right hand is going to fold up. And so I can match that rotation around the center, and I'm going to press just outside of where the valleys of the pleat hit the next direction of mountains to squash that triangle twist. Now, why did the twist work so well for me? Partly placement of the fingers and partly the paper that I'm using. This is Skytone, and if you're curious about how to get Skytone for yourself, head over to the welcome video that's in the playlist, or however you're watching Advent of Tess, and see the links to the paper packs I have available. So just like last time, just like day 1, we're going to have these structures where we have the closed triangle and then these corners tucking in around it. So this chunk is exactly the same as this chunk. So we're starting with something familiar. That's good. And what we're going to do is come one spacing out from our corner of the triangle twist. We're going to make a 3-way intersection as if we were making another triangle twist. So notice that I'm opening the pleat. I'm sending mountains in 2 new directions. I'm erasing the extension of the previous mountain, and I'm going to let this fall over so that the corner sits on top in the center of the twist that I just made. And this is more or less the only time that you'll see me say, and we're going to do exactly the same thing all the way around on all applicable pleats. Usually with tessellations, we're going to go around in a ring, and there will be things that connect one repeat to the next repeat. And so on that next pleat, I'm again going to open the pleat, placing that division of the mountains one spacing from the corner of the triangle twist, and laying it down so the 3-way intersection is now over the center of my closed triangle twist. And we'll rotate and repeat once more, opening the existing pleat, putting the split, the three-way intersection of mountains, one spacing from the corner of the closed triangle twist, and laying that three-way intersection down in the center of our, or over the center of our closed triangle twist. So far, so good. And we have exactly that structure that's joining these three tubes in different directions. And from here, there's a lot of different choices that can be made of how to continue a tessellation. But coming back to the side that we're working on, the next structure that we have in here are these tubes. They're 2 spaces wide, and they're coming out from under the center of that 3 directions of tubes that we saw already. So from this side of the paper, we're going to see those tubes as valley folds. And we're going to mark our valleys. I'm going to go ahead and mark all of them. And this is something where you can be in any orientation and it all looks the same. I should say any of 3 equal rotations. And this property is called rotational symmetry. And specifically when there's 3 directions, it's called threefold rotational symmetry. So there the fold has nothing to do with actual folding. And I'm going to start by picking one of those valley folds. And one thing to know about tessellations, anytime there's a valley, there is a mountain, usually 1 spacing away and parallel. And that's definitely going to be the case this time. And I also want to, while I'm right here, outline this grid triangle that's sitting just past the mountain that's outside of the valley. So right now, I have 1 mountain fold coming from the center, 1 mountain fold that's needed by the valley, and in order to be rotationally symmetric around this grid triangle, I need a 3rd mountain on the 3rd side. Now I'm going to show you a mistake that you might make first and then how to correct it. So you might think, okay, I'm just going to do this with all of this still folded. And that is going to go wrong because what I need to do is unfold the pleat that is the extension of the pleat that's coming in from one side so notice I was on this grid line, and when I unfold that, that actually doesn't go on that edge of the triangle at all. I need the next grid line over in order to get this twist in place. So this is a new twist. It is the open triangle twist where our 3 directions of mountains are coming around a grid triangle instead of all coming to a single point. And we're going to squash that new triangle twist. And then I'm going to go around to the next valley, and I'm going to say, okay, I need to have a mountain next to it, and I need to have my target triangle just outside of that, because here's mountain number 1, this is mountain number 2, and I need a mountain number 3 around that grid triangle. So I need to open up this pleat overlap so that I can get my new mountain on the third side of this grid triangle. And I notice as I do that, that I'm running into the mountain from my first open triangle. And these are running together at 120 degrees, which I can make a three-way intersection. And I'm going to pay attention because look at this three-way intersection. It's the same orientation as this one. And that is not coincidence. So I'm going to pay attention to this one and say, okay, I'm going to fold that flap down so I can get that bit in place. And then I can squash my new twist. From here, we're going to repeat that sequence of steps on the remaining valley folds. And I'm going to work my way around. And one of the things to pay attention to here is that this repeating structure doesn't actually care what size of triangle you use. The size of triangle just determines how far apart these repeating intersections are. Like, are they this far apart? Are they one closer? Are they one even further away? So you can change this triangle size. And I actually have a tutorial on that specifically in the general triangle twists video elsewhere on my YouTube channel. And so there's a lot of information available in that video of how to choose a different twist and even how to fold more repeats of the pattern. So next up, I'm going to come to the next valley fold around, and this time I'll do it with less marking, so you can get a sense of how it would feel to fold it without seeing all of the lines. And I'm going to set up that new open triangle twist. Notice setting it up this way. I'm not trying to find that mountain before the pleat coming from the center is unfolded, but I am keeping the second pleat folded still. And squash. And these are exactly the same steps that we used for the first two triangles, so if you do want to see it with the drawing, go back in the video to that point. And then rotate around. I've got my next valley up there. I'm going to open the pleat overlap, set up the mountain that's parallel to my valley, find that grid triangle that I'm interested in, and set up the mountain that goes around it, which will run into the mountain from the triangle I just made. And again, we're going to pull this pleat down instead of pushing it up. So it doesn't make a huge difference, but it will change the twist direction of the next closed twist like we had in the center on the next repeat. And then coming around, I've got another valley fold that I will set up an open triangle twist on. And then we can open the pleat overlap. At this point, we have some additional information because we've seen it twice already, that the pleat coming and making this three-way intersection is going to hit one spacing off from the corner of the previous triangle. So I can go ahead and say, okay, one spacing out, that's going to be the three-way intersection. Therefore, my triangle needs to be right there. And so I'm picking up these clues to what's coming next as I go around and see more of the pattern. So this is day 2 of Advent of Tess completed. And like I mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of variability that is possible with this method. One thing that I would like to see, an idea that I had as I started making this video, is a pattern that combines these two different elements. So the honeycomb and the Japanese weave with these branches coming off that way, because I think that would be really cool to see. So there's a challenge if anyone wants to merge patterns and have this guy repeating around the honeycomb. I think I'll probably try and do that for myself too. So happy folding, and I will see y'all for the next video tomorrow.